All right. So um, imagine, right, you're this guy, Bryan Johnson, like millionaire tech dude,
Hmm.
right? Super into anti-aging, like
Yeah.
obsessed.
Yeah.
And you're in India, like you're going to be on this podcast, Nikhil Kamath's podcast. And you just walk out.
What?
Yeah, no, not because of the questions, not because of the host. The air quality is so bad. He's like, nope, this is actually bad for me.
Wow.
That's what we're diving into today. This is a wild story.
I bet.
We've got a bunch of stuff here, articles, people freaking out on social media, the usual, and some like deep dives into air pollution and aging. So like,
Yeah.
is Bryan Johnson a glimpse into all of our futures?
It's so interesting, right? Like, this is a guy who gets plasma transfusions from his son.
Wait, what?
Yeah, to try and slow down aging, but the air is what sends him running. It's crazy.
I know, right? This dude, he's got this whole thing, Project Blueprint, right?
Right.
Like super strict lifestyle, tracking every little thing. Then he steps into a podcast studio and it all goes to hell.
It makes you think, right?
Okay, so let's like break it down. How bad was the air in that room?
So, according to Johnson, he measured the AQI at 130.
AQI.
Yeah, air quality index. Basically, like, how polluted is the air, right? Higher the number, the worse it is. He also measured something called PM 2.5, which is tiny particles, That was at 75 micrograms per cubic meter.
Okay, so bad numbers, but like in real world terms, what does that actually mean?
Okay, so imagine smoking, like, 3.5 cigarettes.
Oof.
That's what breathing that air for the podcast was like. Oh, and this was indoors.
No way.
It's an air purifier.
So this is like not just a little bad. This is
really bad.
no wonder the guy freaked out. And he had a rash, right?
Yeah, skin rash, burning eyes, his throat was messed up, like his body was rejecting that place.
And oh my God, you should have seen his tweets. Like going off about why doesn't India treat this as a national emergency?
Which, fair.
I know, right?
Oh.
But then some people online were like, well, if you live in a bubble all the time, maybe you're more sensitive to this stuff.
That's interesting, right? Like, maybe if we're too clean, we can't handle the real world anymore. Like, if you never exercise, your muscles get weak. What if it's the same for pollution?
Whoa. That's kind of deep. Okay, before we go too far down that road, let's talk about why this stuff is bad in the first place. Like the science of it.
Right, right.
Because we all know wrinkles are bad, but
It's way more than wrinkles. Air pollution, it, like, ages you from the inside out at a cellular level.
okay, hold up. Explain that.
So those tiny particles, the PM 2.5, they're so small they can sneak past your body's defenses. They get into your bloodstream, and that's when the real damage starts.
So it's not just about looking old. It's about,
It's about actually getting old faster.
damn. Okay, break this down for me. Like cells and aging, how's it all connected?
So every time your cells divide, right, they've got these things called telomeres, like little caps on your DNA.
Uh-huh.
Think of it like the plastic tips on your shoelaces.
Okay, yeah.
They stop the DNA from fraying, basically. But each time a cell divides, those telomeres get a little shorter. Eventually, they get so short the cell can't divide anymore, and boom, cell death. That's
Ugh.
aging.
Got it.
Air pollution makes those telomeres shorten faster.
So air pollution is basically hitting fast forward on aging.
Exactly.
Okay, that's scary enough. But what about the visible stuff, like the skin? Is it just wrinkles?
Well, wrinkles are part of it for sure. Air pollution breaks down collagen, which is what keeps your skin, like, bouncy and youthful, right?
Yeah.
But it also causes inflammation. So you get age spots and your skin's barrier gets weaker. So it's dry, irritated, kind of like Johnson's rash, maybe.
Oh, okay, so it all fits together. But what's really freaky to me is the link to serious diseases, heart disease, dementia, lung problems, all that stuff.
Yeah, it's not just about looking good. It's about, like, serious health problems. Those pollutants, they mess with your blood vessels, which can lead to heart issues and inflammation in the brain. That might be linked to dementia. And your lungs obviously take a direct hit, making you more likely to get sick.
All right, this is getting heavy.
Yeah.
But you know what? I think it's important to remember that some people at that podcast in India, they were like, we got to fix this. We got to clean up our air. It's not just about each of us individually. It's a bigger problem.
Exactly. And it's good that people are talking about it, even in places where pollution is really bad. Maybe Johnson's freak out, even though it was pretty extreme, maybe it'll make people pay more attention.
Right. So to wrap all this up, think about Bryan Johnson, right? Millionaire, obsessed with living forever, and he runs away from a podcast because the air is too nasty.
Kind of ironic.
I know. What's the takeaway for the rest of us? Air quality, it's not just some abstract thing. It affects how we age, how healthy we are. Maybe Johnson's like, the canary in the coal mine,
Yeah.
as pollution gets worse everywhere. Do we all have to become like him, obsessively tracking AQI and buying fancy air purifiers? Or are there other things we can do, individually or as a society, to fix this? Something to think about. Right.
Definitely.
That's all the time we've got for this deep dive. Catch you next time.
So yeah.